Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Saturday, February 25th, 2023. And just a little word to everybody, I am going to do an afterword when the current events video is done. If you're a viewer that's interested in information about the channel that doesn't involve current events on a national scale, please stay with us. If not, you'll know when to leave because I'll thank you for your time as always. Okay, well, I have to be careful because there's a word that's going to feature several times in tonight's discussion that I cannot articulate without getting in trouble on almost every type of social media. You see, I just found out today, and if I'd heard it earlier, I would have addressed this sooner, that today had been designated as a day of have a teacher explain. Okay? If I have to say that word again, I'm going to call it for the rest of this video hat. Okay? So I don't know that I can explain that because I've never understood that emotion. It's irrational and illogical and usually not based on any kind of real experience that would make it somewhat relatable. Okay, well, what was interesting though was as I was looking through different alt media sites and discussion boards and what have you, where people really are conservative or what would be called right wing, they were all surprised to hear about this too. They said, who dreamed this up? And it was pretty much a unanimous decision that this is more shenanigans, designed hoping to do a bonus banner event, you know, a flappy thing. Because, you know, there are some people that are nutty that would think that was genuine and go do something. And I think they were hoping that would be the case, that somewhere across this wonderful nation of ours, there would be someone that would fall for that and decide to go out and do something that was hat-filled. Hopefully they didn't. I couldn't see anything in the news before I started this video. So hopefully everybody who is truly just a conservative right-wing person is also smart enough not to let the tail wag the dog. Okay? I have a theory and I want to ask the universe about it. First of all, let's look at a couple things about this day of that was supposed to be today. You see, it wasn't really new. It's actually taking, and guys, deep state, hey, 1984 was not meant to be a playbook, okay? It was meant to be a cautionary tale. They're actually taking scenarios from the novel 1984 and trying to implement them. Let me show you something that kind of discusses that in a very concise way. Okay, Cyber Chick said there is no day of hat. This is a lie. George Orwell spoke of such a psyop. Okay? There was a fictional event in George Orwell's 1949 dystopia novel 1984. That week is a psychological operation, PSYOP, designed to increase the hat of the population for the current enemy of their totalitarian party, which right now is, you know, the enemy of that party right now is the right wing, as much as possible, whichever of the two opposing superstates that may be. So there's a concise thing that says where this came from. So, you know, the group that thinks up shenanigans can't even be original, but we knew that. We knew that. Now, I have a theory on where this came from. There's my theory right there. A photo that most of us that are not new to alt media know well and laugh at frequently. Dead boys. Okay, yeah, they're trying to blend in back then on 1/6 or whatever that was. Not doing it too well, thankfully. So I would just like to ask the cards tonight, the universe, okay, to advise and inform us of, was that day of a construct of what I would term the deep state, hoping to cause some mayhem, harvest some loosh, and continue to try to divide people when you and people like you and I are trying so hard to bring us together and saying, hey, we're one human race. We've got some important work to do as a race to continue to evolve and grow and get rid of some shackles that the entire race has had without our explicit consent. Okay, so let's ask the universe to advise and inform us and see what it has to say. Let's find out. So, was this day of hat a psyop from the Shenanigans gang? And is there other information you'd like to let us know about? But basically, I want to know that. I can't believe conservatives would come up with something that ridiculously stupid. But I could be wrong. Let's find out. Okay, we have the Two of Pentacles, Six of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles, lots of pentacles. Someone was getting paid to do this. The Moon, Justice, Hanged Man, King of Swords. Okay, I'm going to tell you what my intuition is telling me based on this read, and then I'll explain about the elements of the cards that led me to that conclusion. I don't think I was wrong. I think this day of hat was a desperate attempt on the part of one side to try to make elements in another side make a stupid mistake. Okay, and I believe that someone got paid off for that. Now, moving forward, we're going to be seeing less of that kind of desperate end game division attempts, and things are looking good for the near future. Now, I'll show you why I said that. My question was this day of hat a shenanigans plan by the deep state? Now, here's one of the classic meanings of the Two of Pentacles. That there's uncertain times involving money, career, politics, and it's a temporary position, okay? And to use change to your advantage. So they were trying to use this to their advantage, this day of hat, okay? And someone got paid for it, not nearly as much as they could have. So anybody that did seem to take part in that needs to be closely looked at for bed boy ties. Okay, very closely looked at. Okay, in the recent past, we have the Knight of Pentacles showing up. Beautiful card saying that there wasn't a lot of worry on the part of white hats and true conservatives. I mean, we all smelled it for the manure that it was, and I don't think anybody fell for it. It is an indication of how desperate the outgoing, hate-filled, loosh harvesting evil is. As Liz Tarot said, they are digging in the bottom of the toy box. Let's try this, let's try it. And it's going faster and faster and faster, just like it does before there's a narcissistic meltdown. Okay, in the current, we have our first major arcana showing up, the Moon. Now, this never shows up. There's no way to read this positively, which is kind of good because it's confirming for us that someone was paid for this and it did not end well for them. Okay, so whoever tried to set this up and said, hey, I got a great idea, we can suck some of those, because by and large, the conservative element of my country, and I believe most countries, are people that want to be law-abiding and go about their lives, but have seen through the mainstream hogwash. And they're looking for truth, and they've accepted the fact that they have to look for it in less mainstream outlets to find it. I mean, pure and simple. So it didn't go well for whoever dreamed this up. In fact, looking forward, they're going to be called to account for that. We have the Justice card showing up, our second major arcana. And remember, with major arcanas, and then we have a third one here, that means things are pretty much non-negotiable. They're set in stone. They can't really be reversed. So somebody is going to be facing justice for coming up with this cockamamie idea about Day of Hat. Okay? And it's causing them and us to look at things in a new way. We are realizing that I was very proud on the discussion boards that I looked at that so many people saw through it right away. Nobody even thought that someone had dreamed it up, and everybody saw it for the psyop it was immediately. So that our discernment skills are getting better and better. We're learning to look at the world in a new way and trust our judgment, which is what discernment is. The King of Swords shows up right next to the Justice card. King of Swords is about truth and knowledge, and it's diplomatic, but he's impartial about applying that truth and expecting it from others and calling people to account when they haven't acted in an honest and truthful way. It's also one of my big white hat cards. Okay. Let's get a couple more cards for insights. This is looking forward. Okay. Skilled labor is showing up here. More pentacles again. But what's happening here is now we're not talking like a minor payoff or taking part in shenanigans, but the white hats are seeing that it is paying off. That people have had an opportunity to grow their discernment, to rely on their powers of judgment. And I think the white hats are pretty happy with people like you and I that are doing just that. Okay. Also looking forward, we're coming to a time when we'll be able to maybe not need to be quite as on guard, but when we are, we don't need to overlook hidden blessings that are coming our way. And some of them are headed our way just simply for being awake, aware, and as I said, not letting the tail wag the dog. Let's recap. I hypothesized that the Day of Hat had really been a desperate construct idea, somebody's brainchild that really wasn't truly what would be considered a right-wing conservative. The cards seem to bear that out. In fact, the cards seem to tell us, hey, don't worry, they're not going to get away with it. In fact, they're going to be facing some consequences for their cockamamie scheme. Okay? And hopefully, if there are any marginalized populations out there that have worry and concern, that truly was something that the conservative element of this country would have come up with. Hopefully they can see that no, it wasn't. It wasn't. That more and more of us on both sides of the aisle are tired of the shenanigans, tired of being lied to. We're ready to be free. We're ready to embrace one another as brothers and sisters of a human race, one that doesn't have divisions. We are one human race. So if anybody did have concerns, I hope that they're gone now, that they can feel safe and at ease and at peace, and know that that's just not the kind of thing that your average American who considers himself a patriot and a conservative is ever going to take part in, ever. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. And I do appreciate your patience as I look down some of these current event rabbit trails. Me and the girls got a fur baby there taking a nap in the background. I'll be sorry, that's Chloe. I don't know where Allie is. Okay, thank you. Now, for the afterword that's about the channel, let's get started. Okay, first of all, I have tried and tried and tried and tried and tried to have my background show as little of the upheaval that's going on in my life right now as I get ready to move as possible. It's getting to the point where I can't do that anymore. I mean, this furniture will be in the background till I leave. But like it's time for me to get things off the walls that are going with me and things like that, and get the car loaded up. And I wanted you to know that another thing that was going to have to be more minimal while I travel is the tarot table. I'm going to keep 1 or 2 cloths so I can do videos on the road and just a few gems to set out, but they're going to be the same ones every time. So don't think that I got tired of it and I'm stopping that part of what I do, because I like setting up the table and kind of intuitively picking and just seeing. Sometimes I close my eyes and see what I end up with. Okay. And sometimes, you know, I'm just in the mood to try to color coordinate. Who knows? But I'm going to have to go minimal till I'm back in Maine. And it is a long, I don't know if you're aware of geography distances, but Alaska to Caribou, Maine is going to be a road trip with a lot of the roads still having ice and snow of over 5,000 miles. I've done 5,000-mile road trips before, but never with ice and snow. So I'm not going to be going fast and hard, which may give me more time in the evenings if I'm not driving after dark to look at current events and see if there's something to do a tarot read about. And if I do, you know, I'll have the equipment with me to at least put up a basic video. Speaking of which, my plan right now, besides videos while I travel, if you're on a device that allows you to look at the community tab, I know here at my house, my iPad doesn't, but my phone and my laptop do. If you can access the community tab, I'm allowed to put 4 or 5 photos up on a post. So instead of doing videos where I bring the travel element in, I'll try to do posts close to every day and let you know what I saw, a couple pictures from that day, and get you updated with posts under the community tab. But what I'd like to do, since a lot of people just want the current events tarot type of thing that I do, I'd like the videos to remain more about, you know, not about travel, but about current events. So that's the plan. And if all goes to plan, I will be leaving here Thursday or Friday morning. And not planning to go too far the first day because the cats aren't too used to car travel at this point. And when I do cross over the border into Canada, in case they want to look through my vehicle or what have you, I'd like to do that early in the day. And but I'll keep you posted, okay? All right, but no lectures about you. You're a wimp. You only went 250 miles. I'll do the best I can, but I also have to plan my stops for places that the cats are probably welcome at. So that impacts travel plans too, because they're the reason I'm doing a road trip and not just flying back east. That would have been the easiest, but not on them. Both cats are older, 15 and 11, and there was no direct flights available. I would have had to go 3 or 4 flights. So we're going to drive and do it together, so at least their favorite human is with them every step of the way. That's it for this video in total. Current events and an update on, you know, Laura News. So the next video I put up, probably these geodes are going to be gone and packed away, and just thought I'd let you know. And, you know, there's not going to be interesting what gems to choose till I leave. It's probably going to be these 3 I use tonight till I get settled in Maine. Okay. But I'll be watching current events because I love them. And if something's interesting, and hey, if something really huge happens, I do have a smartphone. I can go live and we can chat about an event if there's a big event. Okay. I may not be able to like deal the cards and show you like I do, but we can talk about it. Okay. All right. So I send you love and light and wish you all things bright. Enjoy the rest of your weekend and keep me in your thoughts and prayers. I really appreciate it. I want this drive to go so smooth and for the kitty's sake and safely. And it's an adventure. I'm going to make it one, but it'll be a good one with your help. Bye.